to discuss the lessons learned from this disaster and how we can apply them here in Los Angeles. Now, over the past week, my team and I have closely monitored the situation in Japan, and while words cannot express our sorrow for what the victims of this natural disaster are experiencing, the tragedy has shown the world that no matter how prepared we are, we can never be too prepared. We have somberly learned that preparedness is the most powerful tool we have to survive a disaster of this magnitude. Now, we all know that in Japan, culturally, they engage in preparation, not just the government and the first responders, but individuals on a scale and scope that we have not been able to replicate here in the United States. And notwithstanding that preparedness, they are suffering in a way that sends a message loud and clear that we're never too prepared, and that we need to really work hard to make sure that every one of us is entrusted with the responsibility of preparing for an emergency, a disaster in our own families. Now, when faced with unpredictable disasters, earthquakes and floods and fires, or acts of terrorism, it's our obligation to emerge from this chaos and to manage the crisis quickly, effectively, and with expert coordination. Now, I've said many times, and I'm very proud, that Los Angeles has one of the most aggressive emergency management systems in the country, with highly trained first responders, and one of the most prolific state-of-the-art emergency operations centers in the country. But as a city, we're always looking for better ways to prepare ourselves and to keep the city safe. In that vein, we're very lucky that we also work in a county that has a state-of-the-art emergency operations center with a sheriff department and a fire department that is also among the best in the United States of America. And very importantly, we work very, very seamlessly in a way that actually sets us apart from many regions in the country. But here in the city, I'm announcing the development of the Emergency Management Initiative, a series of executive directives that ensure emergency planning and preparedness efforts remain current and up to date, strengthen the Emergency Management's authority as the key city entity for emergency coordination, clearly define the roles and responsibilities of city employees as disaster service workers in the event of an emergency, will direct that those employees be trained for disaster response, and the city can utilize valuable existing resources to assist in a time of need. I've also directed the Department of Building and Safety to review all current codes and all proposed and currently pending codes to provide maximum public safety to the residents of Los Angeles. You all know by now that Japan has the stiffest, strongest earthquake codes in the country, in the world, and while ours are among the strongest in the country, there may be a need to strengthen them even further, and that's what this review will help us determine. Now, beyond our local resources, we've always had a strong relationship with FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and today I'm proud to announce that FEMA has selected the City of Los Angeles as one of 2 cities to launch a pilot project that embeds a FEMA employee in our city's emergency management department. The FEMA director in Los Angeles will learn firsthand the unique challenges that face our large, complex city, and will allow FEMA to gain familiarity and a more in-depth perspective of Los Angeles and how we can prepare and respond to a disaster and work seamlessly with that organization. Preparing for and responding to a disaster also means coordination with the business community. We have with us today a myriad of business leaders who are making significant contributions to our city's preparedness through the Emergency Management Department's foundation and the Homeland Security Advisory Council, which I chair with Sheriff Baca. These partnerships and the commitment of businesses to help in a time of emergency will make us all stronger in an actual time of need. Now, the events of Japan's tragedy have certainly heightened our concern about the city's preparedness. We're confident that we have the best emergency responders in the nation, but we also know that it takes more than boots on the ground to face these emergencies. It takes having every tool at our disposal, ready at a minute's notice. And while the city, CalLima, and FEMA, and local businesses are taking action to strengthen our partnership in a time of emergency, nothing compares to individuals being personally responsible in preparing for an emergency. So, I must ask all of you, are you prepared? The lesson of the disaster in Japan is that the single most important aspect of how our city responds to a catastrophic event is personal preparedness. I encourage each Angelino to have an emergency plan in place with family members and loved ones, which includes a list of emergency contact numbers and evacuation plans. Each Angelino should also have emergency kits for your home, car, and workplace with enough supplies, food, water, flashlight, first aid to last several days. I encourage everyone to visit the city's official preparedness website, readyla.org, and do your part to plan and prepare. I'd like to ask Chief Peaks, let me ask Lucy Jones to say a few words as well. As you know, she's a preeminent expert in the area of earthquakes